So this is your traditional Afghan square. It's the rainbow yarn and the black borders. And I love to take that and just mess with it, turn it inside out, jazz it up. And in this one, I really was thinking about jazz. It's visual jazz, you can see it. Here's the beat and the red squares, boom, 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 like that. And the rainbow squares are in a syncopated pattern, ba-dap, 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 like that. And then the melody is the black squares that go this way and that way and this way and that way. But something with that black and rainbow look. It's too casual for a formal living room. It just doesn't work with the silk drapes. So here's Granny again. She's toned down and dressed up, behaving herself. Her mama raised her to be sweet and be a lady. She can do it. And also for your living room, you could use another look like this. It's very traditional, the rose garden. It's not quite as formal as the pastel one. The design is more like a patchwork quilt. And what I was thinking about here was the variety of colors in roses and the way they sort of vibrate, where there's more than one color together and all the shades in a flower. And here's Granny in her new condo loft. This has a graphic look, very sharp, and there's only the three warm colors in black. It's bold and it's in your face, and that's just crocheting with attitude. She's been like that ever since she moved into town. And everything is Granny this and Granny that. What about poor Grandpa? Have you seen him in his recliner? He's trying to take a nap under that little pink and purple crocheted thing with the ruffles and his feet sticking out. Give the guy a break. I have a mission to the grandpas of the world to give them supersized Afghans that a manly man would not be ashamed to be seen in. They're extra large, they have extra weight and extra warmth, and they're big enough for a big guy and a dog. You can see how it compares to the other basic sizes. Here's lap size, here's nap size, and this is super size. Sometimes when I make a design, I'm just playing with color. In this Spring Blossoms one, I used three shades very close together, the blue and the green and the gray. And they blend together where they're almost no color. And then I wanted to see how much impact I could get out of using just very soft little touches of color, the pinks and the peaches. And I was really surprised at how bright they looked. And this is another one I made just to see what would happen. The warm colors run along this way, the cool colors go the other way. When they cross, it makes a square that's different from every other one. That was fun to make, and it ought to be fun to live with. So all of those Afghans are Granny's descendants, but Granny's still alive and kicking, a lot of life in her yet. People want very bright, very warm colors when they think of an Afghan, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what I like to work on when the weather is all cold and grim. I like to make big squares with 5 rows of color instead of 3, and to use a border that is something besides black. I love to put memories in my design, and here I was remembering coming home on the school bus in the fall down this dusty country road, and the bushes by the side of the road were so colorful and so bright, they just hurt your eyes. I never know what kind of colors are going to grab me. It might be sunsets and roses, or it might be lipstick and nail polish and eyeshadow. The really gorgeous, irresistible colors are what you find in the cosmetic aisle of your drugstore. I usually watch the sunset over Mount Taylor. I can see that from my back door. And every evening it's different. I could have made this 365 sunsets, but I got worried about the shipping cost if it got that big. But it looked great on a king-size bed. Think about that. I started looking at the sweet pea seed catalogs, and you cannot believe the variety of colors. There's colors that even the growers can't think of a good name for. But then I started working out the design, and the problem with putting all those colors in is that they kind of turn into mush, like what happens when a kid smushes all the colors of Play-Doh together in one big blob. So what I did was to make stripes of the different groups of colors so they wouldn't fight each other. This granny stairs is as close to a traditional design as I ever get. It would be a miserable cold world without anything that looks like this. They just look warm. And I think it's in the genes. It must be some kind of universal shared memory. And this jewel quilt is the one that's on the Hirschner's calendar. It's on my own bed now. I sleep under my famous Afghan. I can't make one for the Etsy shop because I don't own the design anymore. If you want one, you can get the directions from Hirschner's and make it yourself. I don't like to make the same design twice because I'm always thinking about the next new thing. And I usually have 2 or 3 designs in process at the same time. And here you can see what I'm working on now. This one feels like sunshine, and this one uses the Tuscany color palette. And this is another supersized one that's made in shades of denim blue. And the mailman just brought my new shipment of yarn. There's a couple of colors I've never used before I wanted to try. Bay print and chili, just look at this. And I use this melon berry a lot. I love the mix of colors, and this is tea leaf. And look at grenadine, isn't it gorgeous? And they discontinued copper, but this carrot is very nearly the same, and they call this gorgeous.